What is your profession?
So here we have 1500 points of Imperial Guard. I'm showcasing my fighting group strategy, which I did on a video recently. The concept of taking 3 mini armies within an actual main army. So each fighting group is identical, and we'll go through it now. So each fighting group has a command squad with autocannon, sniper rifle and regimental standard, and has a company commander. We then have 3 infantry squads. Got a mix of weapons here today. We've got a missile launcher and a plasma gun in this squad. So las cannon and plasma gun, and then we've got missile launcher and plasma gun, and then at the back we've got a heavy bolter and grenade launcher squad. Bit of a cheaper squad there, a bit more expendable. We also then have a sentinel with heavy flamer and sentinel chainsword, and a Lehman Russ. Now this Lehman Russ, today I've decided to take the Eradicator just to mix things up a bit. You don't see these very often, but they're actually pretty good little tanks. Maybe not as good as the main battle tank, but still respectable. The other 2 fighting groups are nearly identical. The only difference is that we have a battle cannon on this Lehman Russ and also a whole las cannon. And the same on this Lehman Russ, and again a whole las cannon. So there we go. That is the 1500 points. We've got 3 fighting groups. Each fighting group has 30 infantry, a command squad, a commander, a sentinel, and a Lehman Russ. And that is in a brigade, because we've got 3 heavy support, 3 fast attack, 3 elite, 3 HQ, and then we've got 9 troops. So let's see what the Imperial Guard are facing off against today. So here we have 1500 points of Blood Angels, lots of Marines on the board today, so let's see what the Sons of Sanguinius have brought to the battlefield. Starting off on the left we have the first detachment, which is an Outrider detachment. It is being led by Mephiston, Lord of Death, and then we have 1, 2, 3 assault squads. Each assault squad, well this assault squad's got power sword and a melter gun, this assault squad has power sword, chainsword and a melter gun, and this assault squad has power sword and a melter gun. And then moving on to the elite detachment, the Vanguard detachment, we have 2 veteran squads, 1 Stern Guard, 1 Vanguard. Stern Guard's veteran squad has 3 combi melters, a melter gun, and then a power sword and a plasma pistol. And is that on the sergeant? Yeah. The Vanguard veteran squad has a power axe, another power axe, and then the sergeant has a power sword. Is he bringing the shield today? He's not bringing the storm shield. And then we've just got 2 basic Vanguard Marines at the back. We also have a 6-man Death Company squad with 2 power swords, the rest bolt pistol and chainsword. Another 6-man Death Company squad with 2 power swords, and another 6-man Death Company squad with 2 Thunderhammers. That detachment is being led by a Librarian Dreadnought, which has the Halberd and the Storm Bolter.
He does have the Storm Shield.
Oh, Johnny's just saying he has actually paid the points for Storm Shield. And finally, dedicated transports, we have Rhino with 2 Storm Bolters, Rhino with 2 Storm Bolters, and a Razorback with twin Heavy Bolter and a Storm Bolter. So, lots of Marines, lots of bodies. The Blood Angels have been going for this sort of more boots on the ground tactic recently, rather than having loads and loads of, well, a very few, I should say, elite units. They've gone for loads and loads of bodies. Let's see how it plays out for the Blood Angels today. So here we have the Warlord and Psychers for both armies. Starting off with the Guard, we have a company commander. His Warlord trait is Iron Discipline. That's the Mordian one, which means anyone who tries to run away on a 4+, they'll be staying still. And also his relic is the Iron Star of Mordi, which means he has a 4+, feel no pain. Just took those because they're fluffy options, but they do actually come into play more often than not. So he's going to be making sure his men stay alive, and he'll be staying alive as well. For the Blood Angels, we have Mephiston as the Warlord, and his Warlord trait is Speed of the Primarch. I think special characters, their weapons are their relics, but we'll have a look at that. He also has psychic powers. He has Wings of Sanguinius, Blood Boil, and Quickening. The Librarian Dreadnought for his power has Wings of Sanguinius, and Blood Boil. So there we go. So that's the army today, and that's the Warlords. So let's see after the field of deployment. So we can't see where it says the Blood Angels can't take a relic if they've taken sort of Mephiston as a special character. So the Blood Angels will be taking the Veritas Vitae as their relic today, which basically means on a 5+, they will get their command points back. And Mephiston will be the one who is holding that relic. So we'll be back after we have deployed. So here we are, the field of battle after deployment. A long line of Mordian Iron Guard ready to repel any assault by the Sons of Sanguinius. We've broken up into our 3 distinct fighting groups, and we've sort of got a set formation for each one. So we have the heavy bolter and missile launcher squads up front, with the las cannon and command squad and commanders behind. Each force is anchored with a Lehman Russ. Me and Johnny were just joking how I've sort of fit this Lehman Russ in cover over here, but it's not really going to matter because the only place he's going to get attacked from will be from 6-inch range of the melter gun, so cover won't really matter. Over here, again another fighting group with a Lehman Russ back there, and finally anchoring the far flank we have another fighting group, and that is the Eradicator there. Moving on to the Sons of Sanguinius, we have a Razorback down there, and it has inside of it an assault squad with Mephiston. We have the Librarian Dreadnought as well. We then have 2 Rhinos. Each Rhino has 2 squads in it. This one in the centre has 2 assault squads, and this one on the left has the Vanguard veterans and the Stern Guard veterans in. So that's the full sort of Blood Angel deployment there. Quite a compact force, but don't forget, they do have Death Company units that will be raining down from the sky. Now the mission today is retrieval mission, which is the 4 objectives. Similar to Crusade, there's 4 objectives, and each one is worth 3 points. There's also First Blood, Warlord, and Linebreaker. The objectives are located here, and here, here, and also there's one underneath that squad there. So both sides have 2 objectives, so to win the game, both sides are going to want to have to try and take an objective off their opponent. Also those secondaries are going to be quite important. And obviously, of course, we're doing lengthways deployment today. So we're going to roll off to see who gets first turn. Now Johnny has again picked the big blue dice of bullshit, and he's giving me this dodgy purple one. You know, he's hoping this Zinch dice doesn't come and help me. So we'll roll and see what happens. So I'm currently going first. Johnny got a 1 on the big blue bullshit dice. He's going to attempt to seize. He gets a 5. So unfortunately for the Blood Angel, the Guard will be going first. So we'll be back at the end of Guard turn 1. So end of Imperial Guard turn 1. Interesting turn. Some damage done to the Blood Angels, but not huge amounts, because to be honest, we're at absolute long range here, so we weren't able to get all our close range firepower to bear. First thing we did, spent 2 command points to make this an Officio Prefectus command tank. Some of you might be wondering why it's only going to be affecting the 1 squad at the moment. Thing is that when those Death Company drop down, I'll be able to move my tank forward and be able to provide leadership buffs to them in future turns. So I've just spent it now because I have to do it before the first battle round, and also because, you know, this guy does look like a commissar poking his head out of the tank. So as you can see, the line has advanced. General advance went out across the line. Everything's moved forward a decent amount. Some units went a little bit further than others, just trying to maintain this anti-deep strike buffer zone. The Scout Sentinels scouted forward and then moved. This one wasn't able to do anything. This one wasn't able to do anything. This one was able to charge unit Marines that was blown out of the Rhino here. That Rhino was destroyed by a combination of pretty much just these 2 fighting groups working together. They concentrated the fire and were able to kill that one, and then the second Rhino was destroyed by this battle tank, and again a couple of these other weapons around here. Were any wounds done to this Razorback here? No. No wounds done to the Razorback, unfortunately. Johnny was pretty lucky on his saves. If you guys remember, Johnny is good at making 5 and 6 up saves with Razorbacks. So yeah, so we've managed to detrack a lot of the Blood Angels, but they have a lot of assets on the table here, We're going to probably see some good turn 1 charges by them. Let's see what the Blood Angels can do in response to this general advance of the Imperial Guard. So interesting Blood Angels turn 1 there. Some ups, some downs, but overall I think they did what they needed to do. So both Scout Sentinels were destroyed in the shooting phase. One was destroyed by a melter gun over here. Johnny just got 1 melter gun through and then just rolled a 6 of damage, killing the Scout Sentinel outright. Some pretty good melter shots by that Stern Guard veteran squad there. The second Scout Sentinel that was here was killed by a combination of a melter gun from this assault squad and also the heavy bolter from that Razorback. The Blood Angels did take some... Before we go on to the assaults, the important bit, Blood Boil was done on the Imperial Guard Warlord from this Librarian Dreadnought, and Johnny was able to put 3 mortal wounds on him. I failed 3 feel no pains of a 4-up, used a command point and still failed, so he's only got 1 wound left. Will the Warlord be claimed by psychic assassination? We'll have to see going forward. Then on to the assaults. 2 of the 3 units Johnny wanted to charge in made it in. Unfortunately, these Vanguard veterans failed their charge, and they lost 2 Marines on the way in for their trouble. And the same thing happened over here. This squad went in, lost 2 on the charge. Disappointing first round of combat, only killed 1. Johnny was forced to burn 3 command points, getting 1 of them back thanks to his relic. In order to do a bit more damage, he was able to kill 3 more. I then spent 1 command point to make sure they stayed still, using the stratagem that makes me roll a battle shock test on a single D3. Over here, the Librarian Dreadnought just didn't miss a beat. He just came in, all hit, all wound, all died. But Battle Shock, I originally rolled a 5. That would have broken my streak. So I maybe foolishly burned a command point to make sure that I didn't lose that streak. And I got a 1 on the reroll with a command dice. So, command points being spent thick and fast by both sides. The Blood Angels have impacted with some of their assault capability against the front lines of the Mordians. We'll have to see how the Iron Guard respond to this going into their turn 2. So a good Imperial Guard turn there. Starting off on this flank, this unit fell back and then were ordered to get back in the fight. They combined their fire with this squad and this squad. Were able to kill 2 of the Assault Marines here, and the last one was killed with this Eradicator. This squad over here moved forward and were able to get some flanking fire on the Vanguard, and were able to kill 1 of them. So we've sort of cleaned out the first wave of Blood Angels on this flank, but there are more to come in, and we're aware of that. Over here, we fell back with that unit, got back in the fight, and then were able to do a couple of wounds to the Dreadnought, and then we told this unit to take aim and also use the Mordian stratagem Volley Fire. That was enough to kill the Librarian Dreadnought that was there. Very lucky I got a 6 to hit with the rapid fire plasma gun, which meant I got to fire again, which meant I got 3 hits in total. And then the missile launcher also got a 6 to hit, and then I rolled and got a 2nd hit. So 3 plasma gun hits, 2 rocket launcher hits. Unfortunately, the Librarian Dreadnought did not stand a chance, but that is the strength of that stratagem. We have talked about that on the channel before. Over here, we used these infantry squads to put a significant number of wounds on the Razorback, and then the battle cannon from this tank was just able to finish it off. Despite the fact it was in cover and 50% obscured, we were able to do the damage we needed there. So that's it basically. We've killed the Razorback. The contents of that Razorback have piled out down here. Mephiston, Lord of Death, is on the field. We've killed the Assault Marine squad, mauled the Vanguard, but these Blood Angels have got 15 Death Company. 18, sorry, so 6 units, 6 men in 3 units, 18 Death Company. That is a significant asset that they're bringing onto the board. Let's see what the Blood Angels plan to do in their turn 2. So we're just interrupting here, just to take a look at this Blood Angels assault phase, so that, well, charge phase. Death Company managed to make it in here, supported by Assault Marines, Mephiston, who has got +3 attacks from Quickening. Over here, this unit made it into this squad. Unfortunately, both Death Company units here didn't make it in, and they've lost 3 men between them. Absolutely furious Overwatch, this little 5-man squad. And then these 2 guys went in to finish off that squad. They did try and do some multi-charging madness, but unfortunately they were pretty short on the distance. They just managed to get him. And then these Stern Guard veterans, they lost 1 on the Overwatch. Mordian Overwatch been very effective the last 2 turns. Hitting on 5 does make a big difference. And yeah, they've gone in against there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units all engaged in combat. The front line has got contact. Let's see what is left alive after this Blood Angels assault phase. So a brutal Blood Angels assault phase, fight phase. This squad was hacked to pieces by the Death Company, then were able to consolidate 3 inches to get within 1 inch of that Sentinel. Mephiston plus this squad were able to kill 8 of the squad members here, and then unfortunately did fail Battle Shock. I decided with only 3, I could have done some command point shenanigans to probably keep them around, but I just decided it wasn't worth trying to save 2 guardsmen for the sake of pride. Pride cometh before the fall, so I decided not to. Over here, this hero managed to, he lost the rest of his squad, but he has managed to hold on tight. He even got a wound through it, didn't manage to kill anyone. And then over here, the Stern Guard, despite the fact being the shooty kind of veterans, are still respectable in combat, were able to kill enough, and then with an unlucky battle shot roll on my end, the rest did run away. So, the front rank has fallen. Oh, yeah, sorry, the remainder guy was killed there by those 2. The front rank has fallen. Blood Angels have got to fight their way through a second rank of infantry going forward, but now is the time for the Imperial Guard counter attack. Let's see what we can do. Just a little side note, this is the dead pile for the guard from that assault phase. So as you can see, a lot of casualties were caused. What an absolutely blistering guard turn. When the guard get hit hard, they hit back harder. Johnny absolutely hates that phrase. Yeah, so we made a Mordian Guard firing line here. Absolutely horrendous levels of first rank fire, second rank fire, and rapid fire weaponry going into those Death Company. Support from that squad as well, who had first rank fire, second rank fire, plus volley fire stratagem. So absolutely horrendous amount of firepower, and we killed Death Company down just to 1 man. A little bit of support fire from this squad as well. I don't think it did anything though. This tank was then forced to use its heavy bolters to finish the Death Company off. It came down to 1 dice, and unfortunately the Death Company member did take a mass reactive heavy bolter shell to the chest. The battle cannon plus las cannon then fired into the Death Company squad that was over there, and in a plume of smoke they were destroyed. This tank then used its battle cannon and las cannon to annihilate the other Death Company squad. I got 10 shots from this guy, 9 shots from this guy, a blistering battle cannon round. The heavy bolters were then used to finish off the squad that was there, who also took a casualty from the pom-pom autocannon there. So they were finished off in that regard. Over here, this guy was used to kill a couple more Death Company, wasn't it, with his main cannon, and his heavy bolters were able to claim the Stern Guard, and their lasguns were also killed 1 or 2 Stern Guard and killed 1 of the Vanguard veterans there. The officer then, I wanted to try and kill him in charging. The men obviously were too busy reloading. They didn't manage to get in. The officer went in. He did get a wound, but Johnny used a command point, which he then got back, thanks to his relic, to save that guy. And in return, he did 2 wounds to the officer. That officer is half dead, and he has, looking in trouble now. But as you can see, there is very few Blood Angels left on the table now. It was a Mordian Guard, just gun line. 1 member there, 3 assault mains, Mephiston, 5 marines on the board. It was punishing. It was just brutal. But the Blood Angels are not going to give in. They're just going to go for glory now, and we're just going to see how much Mephiston, Lord of Death, can kill. So the Blood Angels are down, but they are not out. With what assets I have left on the table, it was a respectable turn. This squad was lost 5 of its members between shooting and close combat, And over here, Mephiston got exactly what I needed. He blood boiled the Imperial Guard Warlords. The relic, the Iron Star of Mordian, has really let me down this game. I have made 1 out of 7 4+ saves to try and keep him alive, so really unfortunate there. Maybe he didn't actually earn the Iron Star of Mordian. It was a counterfeit that he bought to try and make himself look better in officer school. We don't know. Or maybe the fact that it was Creed using it, and Creed isn't Mordian, so he shouldn't really be using the Iron Star. We're not entirely sure what happened, but all we know is his brain leaked out of his ears, and now he is dead. Mephiston then, after casually popping someone's brain, charged in against the tank. Unfortunately, he didn't get quickening off. If he did, he probably would have killed this tank. As it was, he was able to do 6 damage to it and took no damage on return. I spent my last command point using defensive gunners, but it just to no avail, just didn't do anything. Should say, a comedic note, the unit charged in here, and the guardsman did nothing to the assault marines, and the sentinel turned round. I knew buying that chainsaw was worth the 2 points because it just lopped the head off an assault marine, just went and just cut him in half. Normally used for cutting through trees on Castichan, also effective at cutting through power armor on whatever the hell this world is. So we're going into turn 4, Blood Angels. We're going to have to see if we can kill Mephiston, Lord of Death. Slight addendum, this duel continued. The sergeant with the power axe failed to get any hits, and the officer in return, with a single duelist stroke through the eye socket, was able to chainsaw him to death. So yeah, that's it. So there we go. Let's see what happens in Imperial Guard, turn 4. So it was unfortunately a brutal and swift turn. Final turn 4. Everything at 4 infantry squads, 1, 2, 3, 4 over there, fired in to the marines that were here, and we were just able to kill them. It then came down. The last 2 units that were able to fire, that had a realistic chance of bringing Mephiston down, was this tank and the Eradicator, which is, done surprisingly well. The battle tank managed to put 3 wounds on Mephiston, and then the Eradicator fired. It got a filthy 9 hits. Filthy 9 shots. Hit with 7, wounded with 6, and Mephiston is AP -2. It's changed in the Codex. It's AP -2. Really caught Mephiston off guard, and unfortunately he was just blown away. He couldn't do anything against 6 wounds that were sort of D3 damage each. He managed to save a few, but it just couldn't do it. So unfortunately, the Blood Angels have been scoured from this battlefield. I have to say it was an absolutely sort of filthy display from the battle tanks this game. Consistently, statistically they're meant to get sort of 7 shots, and they were consistently getting sort of 8 or 9. Heavy bolters generally not hitting, but the battle cannons were just doing some serious heavy lifting this game. Me and Johnny were just discussing, and with the current state of Guard, even after the nerfs, it's we're trying to do these some sort of friendly battle reports here, but when you're going against Guard, you just got to bring your A game. Johnny was trying out a new list. He's probably going to use it again with some tweaks against the Black Templars, see how effective it is there. But yeah, just against the Imperial Guard, you've got to absolutely just bring your A game, because in terms of lists we're talking about, in terms of the list that you're bringing. So I think Johnny is going to go to the archives on the battle badge of his chapter, and he's going to distill. We've talked about distillation. He's going to distill an absolutely filthy list. This will be a grudge match for the Blood Angels. They have lost hard here, and they do not forget. They have a grudge against the Mordian 50th Rifles now. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle report. I know it was a little one-sided, but I hope there's still some things that you'll be able to learn from it. But we'll go into a bit more depth on the tactics used by both sides in the after-action battle report. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.